All right, I'm over here in Montreat, North Carolina. I'm about to go up to Lookout Mountain. There's nobody else here. It's after 7, well, it's close to 8 o'clock now on a weekday near Christmas. Gonna check out the condition of the trails. I've done this trail multiple times. It's been a couple years, but I've been here quite a few times and it's usually packed. I'm gonna check out some of the other trails nearby as well and see what I can find. So this trail's got a little bit of climbing right off the bat. You gotta walk straight up, and then there's some switchbacks. Enough to give you a little workout, get the heart going. And but honestly, you gain a lot of elevation on the drive up to the trailhead. So it's not that bad. You're not really gaining a lot of elevation. Because for one thing, this hike is very short. I think it was like 1.1 miles round trip. Like 400 feet elevation gain. So it's not that bad. But if you have asthma or something, I'd probably take it easy because you still climb. And just take your time. You should be all right. It's very popular with tourists because it's so short and you get great views up here on the rocks. Now it gets a little steeper up here and there's some rocks you have to climb over, but it's pretty well laid out. You could make a loop using various trails here, which is what I'm going to do. So I'll keep on pushing on and explore a little further. All right, little correction. Here the sign is actually Lookout Mountain. The sign says East Ridge, but it's Lookout Mountain on the map. The other spot was aptly called Lookout Rocks. So I'm going down to Copperhead Mountain and Rattlesnake Mountain. I've been to Rattlesnake Mountain before, but I don't recall going to Copperhead Mountain, even though it's right next to it. I don't know if this tree fell over from the hurricane, but it's a pretty big tree. Might have just fallen over from old age, or who knows. Another tree snapped. All right, I made it to the old Mitchell Toll Road. It's an old forest road that tourists used to take to go to Mount Mitchell back almost 100 years ago, I believe it was. I took this road, I'll call it a road. I took it all the way up to Mount Mitchell, winter of 2021, and came back down to stay at Walker Knob Shelter here in Montreat. That was a good trip. It's funny because I got stopped while I was up there because the park ranger wasn't used to seeing people when the state park is closed. And it is closed in the wintertime because it gets a lot of inclement weather with the elevation. Whoops. Slipped a little bit. All right, I made it to Rattlesnake Mountain, and the views are pretty marvelous. I didn't remember how good the views were over here. The valley is shrouded in fog in places. It's quite picturesque. Ingalls Warehouse down there to the left. Town of Black Mountain, North Carolina, sprawled out in the valley below. Beautiful scene. Well, that was a mess to get through on my way to Copperhead Mountain. It's not too bad though. Just have to be careful. A lot of stuff in the way there. I'm sure I've never come over here to Copperhead Mountain because I would have remembered this. The views are pretty fantastic here, rivaling the other two summits. There's a view of I-40 down there. But yeah, it was a little bit of obstructions to get here, but it was worth it because it wasn't that far away from Rattlesnake Mountain, which is right there. These are the three summits on the east side of the Montreat Wilderness that you could do easily. I think my GPS is saying about 2 miles right now and 2 miles back, so 4 miles for 3 great views. All right, here we are, another intersection. To shelter that way. I might press on ahead though and see what is up here. Came back down to the toll road. I hear voices behind me. I'm gonna keep going down here on East Ridge. Man, I gotta say the views are even better here on the side of the East Ridge Trail. That's pretty cool. Beautiful day too. Supposed to get 64 today. Late December, near Christmas. Unseasonably mild. Another intersection. Private property ahead. So I'm going to the left here down Trestle Road to close the loop. Here's the other shelter. So I stayed at Walker Knob Shelter when I did that backpacking trip to Mount Mitchell, and I couldn't recall where this shelter was, but I do remember seeing it my first time here 10 years ago. It's pretty neat because it's open on all sides, yet it has a roof. I like it. May have to come back here and do an overnight here someday. Actually, does have some holes in the roof, but there are places where it's pretty solid still.